What's going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of Finding Your Niche with Neish. And as you can see right now, I'm at the cool kids table. That's right, the one and only. Two of my favorite guys, Franck Mille, Angelo Diaz. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Yes, so excited to have you guys. So really, I would say you guys have found your niche in disrupting, right? You see it? You see it? You see it? Y'all here? We live, baby. We live. So so excited to talk to you guys because y'all are both extremely well-rounded. When I think about Pretty Fly Society, Boutique Fashion Week, ATL Homicide, like you guys do so many things. Like I can't keep up with you. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of it, let's just kind of start briefly, like where it all started. Tell us about the war, as you call it.
Hey, look at that. Right. I had the war.
Cuba, 1953. Nah. Man, it all started back before like the revolution of Instagram and social media that we have now. But we saw it coming. We saw it. We knew we weren't crazy. We knew that this is like 2011, 2012. We're college age, so it's a different type of lifestyle. But we could see the future happening. We could see the Googles, the Nikes, the Marriotts, the Gorham Brothers Hat Company, all kind of people needing influencers before there was even a word for that influencer space. And we just got into a bag. Like we were doing pop-ups before there was a word for pop-up. We were doing tattoo party pop-ups before that was a thing. And just thinking outside the box of how can we present experiences beyond like a party, you know? And then eventually we made a magazine, and then eventually bro took the mantle and just started doing more activations with established companies like Aldo. And then getting us onto campuses like HBCUs around the country, especially in the Southeast, throwing fashion shows, and that's when it all started coming together. I wasn't even acting then at that point, but that's where it all started. And honestly, he could share more as far as getting into an influencer bag and where that took him to and how he gained insight and knowledge from those experiences, like the Condé Nast, the GQ, all that, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, a lot more of what Angelo said. I think the influencer thing just was an area of opportunity back in the day. You know what I mean? Like we just were putting clothes on and putting them on Instagram, things that we would normally do in our everyday life. But you see a device and an app that gives you that much opportunity to share with that many people, and you're like, that has to be what that's going to be used for. Because there used to not be an algorithm. Whoever was following you, they could see it all. That's why between 2010 and 2020, that many people got rich, because even the people who built it didn't know what it was capable of yet, you know? But there was people like PFS and more in the world who saw it and they got to it, you know what I mean? And we did that.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Speaking of Pretty Fly Society too, can you kind of just talk about the inception of that in general, like the specifics of what you actually designed it to be and what it's become?
Well, what it started as was just everybody was chill. We was cool. We was from different parts. You know what I mean? We were Angelo was, you know what I mean? A bunch of his guys were from Florida, actually from Florida in South Carolina. You know what I mean? I was with I was with my basketball teammates. You see what I'm saying? So we were from all over the place. Then there was other, like I had fraternity brothers that were apart that didn't go to the school. You know what I mean? So it started something completely different, but the purpose of it was for everybody to have opportunity. Like I'm sick of there being this notion of how it's supposed to go. You know what I mean? Like it does go that way occasionally, but PFS is ultimately generated in Pretty Fly like society. That's everybody. You Pretty Fly society.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like that's it. You're achieving, you're pursuing something, and you're doing it tenaciously. You know what I'm saying? Like so, PFS that's what it represented. I'm laying in the bed, planning shows. It wasn't really about the show.
Right.
Like I'm in there and like, oh, the show. I'm like, I feel y'all on the show, but y'all don't understand what y'all doing right now. It ain't even hitting on y'all what y'all doing. Wait till the content drop and you see yourself.
Yeah.
Then you'll see what I'm trying to do and let me do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's because I've always been a vision there. It's like, yo, this is the point of it for you all. This is what you all really want. And somebody has to own that platform. We have to own the Grammy or the Oscar. It really has to be owned. Somebody has to take that mantle. That's what we want PFS to be. That's what we want it to be.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to reciprocate the tenacity compliment because you guys are extremely tenacious in itself. Let's fast forward a little bit. Boutique Fashion Week.
Nah.
First of all, like what? Congratulations, like for what you guys have been able to really do.
Thank you.
The what do you say, the curator of culture, right?
Hey.
And so I am just like,
yeah.
What is the culture behind Boutique Fashion Week? What can somebody expect if they encounter Boutique Fashion Week? Tell us a little bit about that.
I think that's a twofold answer. I actually want Angelo to start. He does a good job with like the disruption air. Like, okay, he expresses that a little bit better than I do. Okay, I'm more of a like with BVFW when it was built and constructed. The time when it was built, we were really in a tough situation. Okay, it required like his task at the time was completely different in order for us to even be where we were at the time. Okay. And I was like, I'm finna use all my brain power to build something that I feel like could last forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's twofold, and that part has to sort of go first, because it's like the same way I explained about PFS and why that's being built, the disruption, the inclusion, that whole part of BVFW. Mm-hmm. That's the beginning of it. You know what I mean? That's the same thing it's rooted in, but we just understand that I'm really with Fashion Week thinking about the business side. Yeah. And all I got for you is business on why it works. Well, and I make sure any camera I get in front of going forward, they know why it works. For sure. But Angelo, for sure.
So to kind of explain it more, we have to start before Boutique Fashion Week with another event series we had that led us to Boutique Fashion Week. And because that way you get an understanding of we know what we're doing and how we arrived to this point. It wasn't our first time doing something to that scale. Y'all done activations before. Been doing tons. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we had an event series called the Creative Canvas Art Tour that we did for a few years around the country. And the Creative Canvas Art Tour is just special. It touched a lot of lives. To this day, it's hundreds, maybe thousands of creators around the country that will hit our phones, personally text us, have given testimony of like, bro, that person I met at your event, or that piece of advice you gave me at the event, or that content, I posted it and it made somebody else aware of me, that passed me on to somebody else and it helped me close a deal, that put my art in these hotels, put my art in these restaurants, franchise it. Even this right here. It's a little dirty right now. You know, I've been through the war. But this came, like Zappos? But one of the artists we work with, Brian Cox, he does a lot of geometric kind of art. Geometric artist. Yeah, and he's rolled with us through the Creative Canvas Art Tour throughout Texas, several different cities. Okay. And some of the knowledge and insight he's gotten from us and the people we introduced him to led him to that Zappos deal, where he had, I don't want to misquote, but I think maybe 7 or 8 of his pieces, his artwork, got attached to the back of that, and people can write whatever they want on it. So as a gift, he sent us a whole heap of the Pretty Fly Society ones. But at the end of the day, doing that for 3-4 years in the Miamis, Atlanta, Charlotte, from San Francisco to New York to Dallas, Houston, Nashville. We're talking anywhere between 150, sometimes 350 people in a big, huge building, 20 to 30 artists with their art all over the walls, a spoken word or stand-up comedy or a jazz performance, all kind of creativity. Yeah. So there's car art, there's all kind of art being featured, vendors, sculptors, any kind of art, you name it, and that's what we had in the building. Now I'm running around with a camera crew, interviewing artists, leveraging my celebrity to them. That's content they could take with them and post so their family could see them winning, because being an artist is hard. He's also interviewing several artists up front, in front of the audience, while the audience is shopping and doing their thing. During Creative Canvas, we eventually activated a fashion show that was incorporated into the 4, 5, 6 hour creative nirvana. Okay. So through that, we created certain partnerships with like Grey Goose, Paul Mitchell's School partnership came from that space. And at a certain point, what bro was referencing was we were just bending a corner with it. The parties we were involved with at that point, my godmother, his mother, shout out to Tommy Guns up in DMV. It was just an evolution. Everyone was kind of like, all right, what do we do next? They were evolving personally. Tommy Guns was shooting for all kind of companies, still doing his thing, bro. Super proud of you. But it was like evolution of like, all right, where do we go with this? Because we had a Revolt deal on the table with that. We had a lot going on. And it was best for everybody to take a pause and say, all right, how do we, like, what's the next evolution of what we had to offer? And that's when bro locked in 3, 4, 5 days, no eating, no talking, came back with this vision of like, bro, this is where I think we should go with it. And then we sat down, we added to it together, and this is the best way we can get off what we're here to do, like on this planet to do. Personally, I am a storyteller, I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm an actor. That purpose God didn't slap me in the face with that till about 2015.
Wow.
I fought it till like 2016. At that point, pretty
Why
fast
are you
side.
fighting it?
God, that shit crazy. Like, I didn't want to be broke. I had mouths to feed. I had things to be responsible for. I was coming out of the military. I was deciding to end my military time. And I just didn't see myself going that route. You know what I mean? I saw myself possibly influencing the culture, or more so from a club ownership or hotel ownership aspect. But I was like, how do I go get the bands to make that happen? So I'm gonna go milk somebody's 9 to 5 so I can make that happen. Cause I'm into urban planning, I'm into real estate, certain things. That's where I saw myself going. But by the time I got into acting, PFS was already rolling. Bro was doing the HBCU things, working with Aldo, working with the GQ 51, Condé Nast, doing certain things and pulling information from that so we could do our thing with it. But Robin Hood is my purpose. And even when I'm acting or storytelling or writing or directing or producing or hosting events, that's all a part of it. His gifts, his powers, his branding, marketing, hella creative, rap, music, a lot of it. You know what I mean? Design, this is our new line that, we'll get into all that. Bro, design this for Gorham Brothers. You know what I mean? Help Gorham Brothers, the hat company, most established hat company in America, possibly the world. You know what I mean? Craig, help them roll out into a full fashion house. They came to us and they said, Frank, we'd like to create a creative director position for you. It was not a thing. They made it happen for him. They got the Virgil Abloh on with him. Pretty Fly Society created a deeper relationship with them, and he gave them a 5-year and a 10-year plan to roll out into a full fashion house. But at the end of the day, Robin Hood-esque activities is what we here to do. So Bovtiqve Fashion Week gives us the best platform to do that. It's disruption with inclusion in mind, diversity in mind, equity in mind, all of that really. And you're hearing those words a lot lately, and I dig it because it's profitable. You know what I'm saying? It's trendy these days. It's what's happening. Everybody's trying to tell you that they're all about diversity. They're all about you. But we've been talking that. And I imagine you've been talking that. You've been living that. Your ancestors been living that. So our ancestors been living that. We come from a long line of that kind of stuff. So it's just a matter of how do we implement it? So Bovtiqve Fashion Week, it is Fashion Week. It is. It's give you everything fashion. It's the red carpet, the step repeats. You're crushing it. Doing the pregame show. I'm hosting. The runway shows are crazy. The designers are crazy. It's posh. It's lit. It's bright lights, but it's also real as fuck in there. You know what I mean? It's also really commerce. It's also really inclusion. It's really equity. It's not the pretentiousness or elitism that comes with stereotypical Fashion Week experiences. It's open. It's love. They front row like, that's my motherfucker. She designed the shit out that shit.
Yes,
and
I
but
remember
at the same
that girl
time,
too.
a few of them, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's people front row like this.
Right.
Well, I'm about to spend money because I own a boutique. I'm a wholesaler. I'm a buyer. I have a
part.
website. Or I'm a manufacturer. Or I'm a consultant for several companies. You know what I mean? I can get these designs picked up by somebody that needs to pick up designs. I can help in here. So we're putting it all together, and that's what it's about, like in real life. So the brands we rock with, the Gorham Brothers, the Marriotts, the Paul Mitchells, it's all about leveraging momentum. That we bring them momentum. It's not no charity. You know what I mean? We bring them a lot of capital, a lot of resources. Because, you know what I mean? It's the culture. We keep the lights on as far as America is concerned, as far as the world is concerned. And it's about time to have people sitting at that table that can leverage something in return. Okay, cool. We got creatives that could use these opportunities. We have something that these resources can go into, and it's going to help everybody eat. So that's what we're all about.
And meanwhile, back at the ranch, Frank is over here being humble because, like you said, you're the brains, like one of the brains, one of two, but the mastermind behind getting you guys into some of these rooms. Can you talk about how you've been able to leverage strategy, your business acumen, as well with personality, swag, all of it? How are you getting into these rooms? How are you having these conversations, and how can we do the same?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
You don't play. Yeah.
You know what? I think that a lot of people fight for the celebrity element so that opens the door for them. But ultimately, it comes down to the number. You know what I mean? It comes down to what's actually being presented to me. It doesn't really matter how it's being presented because the people who really care do not care about culture, do not care about such and such. They do not care about your feelings. They do not care about your dreams. And the quicker you get to the point of that, you'll realize that when they see folks like us, when we speak in, and I'm getting right to that point of it, they can't argue with that because that's what their boss looks like. You see what I mean? It's what they understand. It's what you can communicate to them. So it makes the buying process, it makes the negotiation process a lot quicker, a lot more thorough. Because the dance, you don't have to shuck and jive too much. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, the question is kind of loaded because I feel like I'm doing it from a standpoint of not being a celebrity. I feel like I feel like I have an attachment, but if I walk into that room and they're not aware of the show that he's on or things that he's done, then it's just Frank walking into this room.
Right.
And I'm a representation of myself and the information that I have with me, which needs to be a representation of Pretty Fly Society as a whole. So that's what I'm wearing when I go into this room. And I understand that regardless of, once it happens, nonetheless, I still have to go into these rooms nonetheless and do this. So, you know, we've had conversations. I've always said, bro, I'm not looking to be a flunky. You know, I came to be set and I'm not looking to do that. That's not a part of my DNA. That's not what I want to be at all. And we brothers. So whatever I'm being requested to do, if I'm doing it in return, it's because you my brother. Like, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Business-wise, whatever we got going on, that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? This is what we got to get figured out, and that's what me and Angelo going to figure out. But as a businessman and attempting to share the information with you all, coming from a non-celebrity element, I think that you just need to have your shit together and get metrics and spend some time learning. Like, actually learn the process. The Create Can part that Angelo referenced, I always say it was practice. I would have said it right then. I'm like, yo, fam, I don't care what we invest, I don't care what we lose, because it's not about making a lot of money right now. What we doing is getting the information on how to take this, package this up, and make a lot more money off of it. Because there's people who have money who can turn that over for you a lot quicker if they can see the value in it. Our peers can see the value, but they don't have anything in here to do it with. That's just a fact. They don't have the capital to give to you to help you pursue your dream. So the amount of time that we spend like hugging that fact, the less time we spend actually reaching what we're actually trying to achieve.
So how have you been able to do that? Because that's a great point that you just brought up. So I want to unpack it a little bit. It's like, how do you walk into a room and kind of make the math when it's not mathing all the way?
They don't know.
They don't know, and it's mathing.
It is mathing.
That's the thing. What we're about to bring you
is going
mathing.
to math.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the equation is the equation.
Because a lot of people will be intimidated to go into a room without the capital per se, and be able to leverage, like you said, the people, the content itself. And so, where do you find the confidence to be able to do that? Because a lot of people feel like if they don't have the money, then they don't have a chance.
Because it's real. And value exists in more than money. People say it all the time. People just don't be listening when they hear it. It says more things valuable than money. There sure is. There's so many more things valuable than that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. That when I walk into the room, that's the perspective I'm coming from, because that's what we've had to deal with.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If we have the capital, we have a completely different conversation.
And then also, that's a part of the message, the theme, the frequency that Pretty Fly Society represents. To pursue your dreams, that's where it's coming from. But the deeper underlying message is you are the capital. And it's 2022. I mean, we've been saying this for years, but it's time for you to understand, as a creative, as an entrepreneur, you are the source. You are the electricity. You are the God flow. You know what I mean? And the machines, whatever the case may be, they plug in to you to get what they need. But you are the capital. You are, without you, these brands, you name it, like they don't have much to offer, because they need you to make them look cool. You know what I mean? Even that Lakers hat you got on, like Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, so many things added to that legacy, but we care about it. You know what I'm saying? So we add to that culture by caring so hardcore and repping it. So a lot of times you just got to understand how much capital you actually carry into these rooms. Whether that company understands that or not, or that entity or that brand or that platform, whether they value what you actually bring to the table is another convo, but that's a numbers game. You keep shooting threes, you're going to hit 20, 30, 40% of them, you know what I mean? So you keep swinging, you're going to meet companies or entities or platforms that are like, oh, this person gets it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, I want to work with this person
Mhm.
or their group or whatever the case may be. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And because of that messaging, people have been listening, and that's why these phones have hundreds or thousands of people in them around the country, sometimes around the world, that are like, nah, Pretty Fly Society call me, I'm getting down. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, you ain't gotta call me. I'm gonna call y'all every couple
Right.
weeks,
That
every month or
part.
so, and be like,
Right.
what y'all got going on? Because I know y'all got some shit going on.
Yeah, for real.
Because they feel like the message we carrying is real and it's impacted their life in a certain way. You know what I mean?
love that. Okay, so we get into the room, right? You've gotten the opportunity in front of you.
Mm.
Now, our culture, you know how we do. We have a history. How do you communicate the level of excellence that everybody has to operate so that this partnership does not crumble because of
I am so glad
the
you asked
history?
this question. I'm so glad you asked this question now. This is
how,
perfect.
how do you communicate that?
To
Yeah,
our
just to
potential
be clear,
partners
who
No,
or
we
the
no,
communicating
the
people.
people that you're bringing into the room with you.
Copy.
Okay.
But that helped us get into the room sometimes as well, yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Are you referencing who? Okay, just
I'm
trying to make
so-
sure. Are we
okay, so-
referencing the talent pool
That you're bringing
that's
with
about
you.
to be?
Yeah.
That's
the
gonna be
talent.
involved in the
Oh, yeah,
proposition.
that's-
Right.
Yeah, that sell is the sell. Like that's my game. That's not I can't really. You don't share that. That's the game. Like that's because ultimately it's how I talk about Angelo Diaz. It's how I talk about you. It's how I talk about the people and the shows that they're in and the way that I reference it. Some people look at that as dishonest or distrustful. It's not at all. You did sit across from Kenny Burns, correct?
Yes.
How I relay that is how I relay that information. That's the part of the game that bothers people's mortality. Morality, my apologies. Morality in this. So that's when I'm like, yo, in business, in that room, it's why it's scaled the way that it is. It's why it's so high up. Because the way you have to do business in the room is like you, the individual. That person does business different than this person. There is no way to mimic what I do. There is no way. Give it all you want.
You gotta stand.
Yeah.
All you want to do is you have to stand on that part. That's what he just talked about, the God flow portion. So when I'm in there speaking on Angelo and what he's done, it's how I give that message in the 4 seasons of television.
Yeah.
That sticks. How many people you know did it? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's okay. They're gonna hear me, and they hear the conviction, the belief,
And the confidence.
the confidence, the conviction, the belief, all those elements that you're not a fake. You see what I'm saying? And then there's information,
And the
letters
proof.
of recommendation, and other things like that. Like there's other actual pieces to doing business that I can share with you all, like letters of recommendation.
Get receipts.
Get receipts ultimately,
receipts, yeah.
but understand, like, in order to even be able to get a receipt, you got to know where to start at. That'd be you got to go actually build some money for a business yourself. Know what they looking for so that you can actually go and speak that shit to them versus what you hope happen. Because I think this.
Yeah.
We coming in there with metrics and people have said things about us and things have actually happened and we go and get other numbers and we negotiate contracts for acting. Because we understand the force majeure, you know what I mean? And we know when we need to get a lawyer involved. This is all things that everyone is privy to. You see what I'm saying? So going into that room, you're in the room. You're in the room right now with us. Respectfully, but you're in the room.
Right.
Because you get it, you see it, you sniff it. It ain't supposed to be for everyone actually to understand because we all don't understand each other anyway.
Yeah.
Right? That's a fact.
Yeah.
So this right here, I just know is divine. That's what I stand on. This is divine right here. I'm telling you that.
Yes. 2
grown-ass men building, growing, supporting, understanding, not ego crashing. That is the biggest fucking story of Pretty Fly Society.
Wow.
That more people should highlight and whatever, that's what should be highlighted. That these black men built this thing. They know how it really went down. That's the story. The story is our relationship and the dynamic between our relationship, because that's what makes me be able to go in the room and do that. And if I'm in a nightclub, in a bar, and somebody say the wrong thing, that's gonna give me the reason why I'm like, all right, this is what's going down. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's whatever that situation is, because somebody ride.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna ride. Period. All right, I'm riding. Right, wrong, we'll figure out in the car. I'm riding.
Yeah. And I want to talk to you a little bit too, like staying on the vein of community and having people ride for you. You guys have been able to curate a really massive group of people that rock with you and support what you do and believe what you do and edify what you guys, what the vision is in itself.
Come on, edify.
Can you talk about? Can you talk about that, like having the team portion, because that's a whole other beast in itself.
You're leaning towards the actual execution of what the proposition that we get in the room with these entities. Now, how do we execute it? It's just conveying. It's leadership. It's hard to. There's a lot of different ways you can teach leadership. There's a lot of different styles of leadership. So we understand that just from life experiences. We come from a long line of it. I come from family organizations. My mother is an activist. My grandfather was, you know what I mean? With the time he was on, he was a family organization kind of person. He comes from a long line of that. His mom, my godmother, sergeant in the military, ran human resources departments for big government entities. You know what I mean? Grandmother ran a nightclub in the South, deep swamp pits of Georgia, South Carolina.
Wow.
Made woman. You know what I mean? We're big on the chitlin circuit, coming through there. Whoever, you name it, they done came through there. So for it to be the South, 60s, 70s, 50s, you can understand the type of organization she needed to have her keep her shit from getting burned down every night. You know what I mean? So just having that kind of
y'all coming off the heels of that. There's no way you can
it's
fail.
in you. It's in you. It's not on you. So we convey that, and we convey how important this is to everyone we're involved in, and we convey the tone and the energy and the disrespect we're not going to tolerate. What kind of vibe this is. What kind of ground y'all walking on now. Not only that, but they see the value in it and they gain value from it. Real life. The models that we're working with really seeing their life change. The model coordinators we're working with really seeing their life change. The designers, everyone that we're dealing with, hell, the brands we work with, we're seeing their whole trajectory change. So it's no, like if we got to repeat ourselves to you multiple times, even then there's space for that. Like my mom being an educator during certain parts of her life, or just understanding sociology, how the human brain works, there's only so much retention that happens. So repeating yourself is a part of the process. Mistakes are a part of the process, but it's just a matter of scouting report and analysis. The same way coaches or owners or general managers will sit in a room and talk about a quarterback, the upside and the downside, on the field, off the field, a wide receiver, a point guard, certain ways they're gonna sit there and talk about this person's legacy could be this, but it could also go the other way, depending on how they deal with this trait, that trait, this trait, that trait. But we can't control all of that. But we do know leadership. We understand people, and we understand how to set a tone to make everyone successful. And we understand a good locker room tone. We understand if there's a tumor in the locker room, it needs to go, it needs to go. But we understand that at this point, as far as Bovtiqve Fashion Week, we debuted February 2020, started promoting it 2019. We do it every late February, late September, but it's year round in the sense of presence, the promotional events that we do, the casting calls, the marketing, the one-off events, swim, that runway show is becoming its own beast. So, and that's a Bovtiqve Fashion Week presentation, a Pretty Fly Society presentation.
And speaking of kind of like piggybacking off of what you said, the ups and the downs, what have you guys found to be the most challenging and rewarding aspects of bringing people on board for this experience?
You want to go on you?
Yeah, man, the most challenging sometimes is just taking that time. I would say that's most rewarding. Just taking time to listen and find out who this person is, what makes them tick, what makes them talk, what kind of player am I working with right now? Me personally, sometimes you'll hear me say, what kind of Marine am I dealing with? Because I served with Marines and Navy SEALs as what you would call like a combat medic capacity. So understanding in that position as something that a Marine or a Navy SEAL holds dear to their heart. Oh, that's my doc. Ain't nobody fucking with my doc. You know what I mean? My doc don't know what he's doing. And you bring a lot to the team morale. You know what I mean? You want to wear that confidence because you got any given time 20, 30, 40, 50 Marines looking at you, hoping that you know what you're doing. Because if they get a shit chopped off or something goes down, even a little musculoskeletal sprain, something goes on and you referencing your book, you don't know what to do, they're like, oh, this is not good. I am no longer excited about being at all. You know what I mean?
At all.
So, and then you got to know your Marines, who you could talk to a certain way. My Marine from Bronx, New York ain't going to tick the same way my Marine from Montana does. These are two different people. So how do I help us all correlate? And then I'm dealing with chain of command. I'm dealing with a lot. So at the end of the day, it's just listening. All right, what kind of Marine is this? How do I communicate with this Marine? What does this Marine see value in? What we have to offer? what is this Marine's liabilities?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is this Marine good in this situation or that situation? What kind of situation is Marine going to help us in, and how can we help this Marine to achieve their
so
goals?
the reward is in the opportunity to listen.
Exactly.
That's
and learning
good.
and character
And learn.
profile and understanding what we're dealing with instead of straight bum rushing into something. It's like, let's learn each other. You know what I mean? We both know that this could go off, but how?
Yeah.
How are we going to make this happen?
Yeah.
I think my biggest reward is, it's always different by the time Fashion Week ends. And I mean, like, relationships and where we are. I always like the reflection because a lot of it is fact, right? After you've done it, it becomes fact.
The aftermath.
Exactly. So I'm reviewing what actually went down. You know what I mean? Because there's perspectives, and then there's here's what happened though. You know what I mean? Here's what we sold. Here's what we did. Here's what went down. You know what I mean? Because in business, I gotta always remember none of that stuff matters. You know what I mean? They're gonna look at your P&L. They're gonna look at certain things or what we gotta do and build. I'm trying to keep that element there. So what I mean by is what it's different after Fashion Week, because it's like, oh, all right, relationships have grown.
Yep.
We just, like bro just mentioned, the Marine that we see, I now know, oh, we can trust that Marine. Cool. Got one. We got it. Okay, this one. All right, cool. As our niggas continue to plan and build, it's like you're plugged there until you play yourself. You know what I mean? But we're
That's
piecing
such a Frank thing to say.
We're piecing this thing together in real time.
Facts.
Always using this brain. So every interaction, just like I see your social medias, we see everything. You know what I mean? So that's the game. I'm very transparent. That's the game I'm playing. You know what I mean? This is what I'm working on and attempting to build because of how many people it will help. We just had a discussion the other night. I'm like, fam, the business is built for the love. Bovtiqve Fashion Week is where the love is now. You know what I mean? So y'all take the love. We trying to elevate and do something else at the moment. So my reward and the most challenging thing is maintaining that balance, making sure to stay connected to the people, your team, and making sure to talk a little bit more, at least to your main players. You know what I mean? Because personal life is a part of it as well. Now, you know what I mean? As we age, if you hear a lot of the conversation, what I hear in this conversation is, damn, they've been doing it a long time. Yeah. That is a fact. Right. Like, that's a factor in regards to fatigue, in regards to anything, in regards to the mental brain power that it takes to cook up something. You know what I mean? And then the physical with the team's ability to cook it up and to keep fighting and keep smiling. You know what I mean?
That part.
All those things that we got to pursue to a bunch of people that sometimes I feel like don't appreciate. Have no fucking clue what's really going on at all. But because it's Frank and Angelo, it's like, well, it gotta, like, y'all don't understand how this game works. We gotta wear this. You know what I mean? We have to put this on. We have to do these things for what Angelo and I are after. And when it happens, y'all will be like, oh, it all makes sense. And I'm gonna use this to close so you can get back to it. I'm in a meeting, and the guy says, and this was a major compliment for me personally for Fashion Week. I'm inside, we at the AC Hotel, I'm talking to Adam. He says, man, the first night, opening night, was crazy. I was not a little disappointed, you know what I mean? We've never been sold out like that. Disappointment we just didn't know how to deal with it. Well, not true disappointment. He said, but after we had this show Friday, I watched it all the dots connect. Everything that I thought was off, and when I went back and looked at Wednesday, he's like, all the little dots connect. We went back and looked at the schedule, they all connected. And I was like, what? I'm in the meeting like, what? You caught that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord, I ain't crazy.
Yeah.
Because he was like, so he wasn't even a part of the Fashion Week process. He just was like, by the time we finished their show on Friday night, we finished the gala, he was like, I watched every dot connect. It looked like chaos to me. Initially, I'm like, yo, this looks like chaos.
Fashion shows are chaos.
But that's Fashion Week.
Wow.
And if you understand that, it's not chaotic. Everybody chill, breathe. But you don't. And I can tell when you haven't moved forward in the process because you're losing your mind right now. Because the problem can be solved.
Right.
That's when I know we able to move. It's no rah-rah. It's everybody relaxing here.
Yeah.
So that we can actually do the job that we got to do. You know what I'm saying?
So respect to the intentionality.
Yeah,
first of all,
100%.
He peeped it.
He peeped it.
He peeped that.
And that sometimes,
He peeped it.
as far as the hardest part,
Yeah.
that's, I think the hardest part from our perspective can be, or something we always need to remember, is that we're seeing the whole chessboard in regards to what we're attempting to do, where it can go long term. Just like we saw the whole chessboard when we first started PFS. That motivated us to be like, okay, these basketball guys, these fraternity guys, these football cats, the Florida boys, this campus is way too small to divvy up in that way. It was like a 3,000 student campus at that point. It's bigger now.
Way too small to divvy up.
In that way. And then all of us ain't
Angelo, we
connected
want
to
to
the
dominate.
culture.
Angelo got to dominate. That's what it was, bro. Came like, it's not enough space.
So let's super merge.
Yeah.
And then we
That's
seen
funny.
where Instagram going. We seen the whole chessboard.
Yeah.
So it's important to remember when we're being tough on ourselves, or we're receiving feedback after, like for example, we just did Volume 5 2 weeks ago. We just wrapped on Volume 5 here in Atlanta, and we're getting all kind of feedback from models, model coordinators, parents that traveled across the country, our branding business partners, our boutique that we partner with, the designers we worked with, potential future partners. It's all coming. And then we got, I mean, we talk a lot about it's me and him, but it's a family situation.
Right.
So we got supporters that's, y'all probably don't really meet like that, but they all over it for us. We got accountant, we got, you know what I mean? It's all
100%.
family ran.
100%.
So they got feedback for us too. So it's important to understand that we seen the whole chessboard. So if we're getting feedback from a bishop that's seeing the slice that the bishop sees, or the rook, or the knight, or the queen, whatever the case may be, we understand that they're engaged in it. So they're seeing their corner. So the panic, the tone, the urgency we're hearing, it's like the world is ending. It's because in your slice of the chessboard, you feeling that pressure. But I see the whole chessboard, and I understand where this is gonna help everything. You understand?
Yeah.
And so it's just important to understand, like, nah, this is successful. This is working. This game plan is working. Just because these pieces got to move around doesn't mean it's not great.
And that reminds me too, because that's a question that I was going to ask you guys. You're answering a little bit, but I wanted to be a little bit more concise. What would you say? Because failure is feedback. What has been
failure is growth,
right? What has been the
growth.
biggest feedback that you've gotten from your failure, either professionally or personally?
Just more logistics. It'll be hard. Like, a lot of it can be pinpointed now, but it may not necessarily make sense to you until you experience Fashion Week or you experience the back of the house. More organization, more logistics, personnel that can understand the flow of what's happening more, and adjustments that can only happen after that failure. You know what I mean? Because when it's successful, it's like, this is working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Boom, you get hit with a right hook. Like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, in the face. Now you in there, now you just like, okay, this is instinct. Bet we in. You know what I mean? I'll go back to my plan later. But right now, that hook just hit me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just constantly adjusting, whether it's because there's so many moving pieces. There's things that it all comes back to Bovtiqve Fashion Week and the people that are organizing it, which is beyond Bro and I. But at the end of the day, everybody's looking at it like it's Bro and I. But at the end of the day, there's branding partners that are responsible for what they're responsible for in the chain of what we're doing. Whether it's a venue, whether it's a school that we're working with, Paul Mitchell School, whether it's a supplier, a distributor, the people that are making our stepper piece, the people that are dropping off the red carpet, the people we rented the chairs from. These chairs are not, they're messed up. We got to take them back and come back the day of. All of it's just putting out fires in real time and like, okay, how do we make more space to put out the fires in real time? So we're more organized for A, B, C, D, E, and F. And then when GHI happens, we can go at it because we know something's going to go wrong in real time. It's just life. No matter how much you plan, it's going to go wrong. So how can we be ready for that?
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Frank? What's been your biggest feedback?
Well, we've gotten tons of feedback. We've gotten a good bit. I try to give my critique on it. And I think, in support of what Angelo's saying, first, liquid capital. Because the leaders of this thing know what to do. But we got to understand the talent pool that we're dealing with and understand we're giving out an opportunity. And if we stand for opportunities for everyone, which is what we ultimately doing, then that come with the cream of the crop. And that come with the bottom too. It don't come with just the top. It come with everybody. You see what I'm saying? So attempting to make sure that that's understood, because we sometimes gonna have them possibly be a part. And however you classify the cream of the crop from the bottom, I could just use that to be novice or expert. Whether they're new to the game or they're experts, they're all playing on a playing field that's represented by Bovtiqve Fashion Week. Angelo Diaz and Franck Mille is what they're going to be looking at and seeing and saying, we have to accept that. That's like the responsibility of it. So it's very, very, as you can see, dynamic, the position that you're in. Because it's
collaboration over competition.
It's never one thing.
Right.
It can never be one thing, and it can never be absolute. It's going, he just said it's going to happen. There's something gonna happen. I don't know what it is, but the time is there for it. But if we got the liquid to demand, because some people are moved by liquid.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Some people are moved by that. And money will move you. It'll move around quick for that. You see what I'm saying? But certain people are moved from within. The people that's gonna keep their name on that list are the ones that's love it inside.
Right.
This is for me. The ones that pay, I understand that you live that life, but you aren't longevity.
Right. That's
a fact. You need the income. So whenever that positions itself, that's what you're gonna do. Cool. You're gonna go get that. I don't got a problem with that. Just don't kill me because I see it, and that's what it is. Because I know a person who ain't moved by that. I want it dearly. I'm gonna ask for the numbers because I got people to take care of and things to do. But it's not what's moving me. I did this for y'all.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that I understand what you're saying. Are you more so talking to the person because in long term, everybody should be qualified to get monetary exchange for what they do ultimately. 100%. So what you're saying is you have to be able to see the vision. If we're not able to do that right at the moment, it is a play that you will have an effect later on down the line. Like
to come back to that person?
Right.
That person can get on the train instantly.
That's what I'm saying. So are you, if the person says, oh, okay, are you looking, basically what I'm asking is, are you looking for a person who can see it through and through, whether what it is right now versus what it's going to be? Or you like, let me give a better example. So let's just say, for example, Sue walks up and she's like, peeps what y'all are doing, wants to be a part of it. But Sue has also maybe been doing it for, let's say, 12 years.
Yeah.
And Sue's like, okay.
This is good. Yeah, this is good for camera. Hang on, this is beautiful. Let's do this.
We know Sue.
Watch you know Sue? Okay.
Let's do this.
And Sue is like, okay, maybe I did it for the first year for free. Second go around, third go around. Second go around, also did it for free. Third go around, it's like, okay, like when y'all gonna run the check? Like, what is that?
Well,
what would you say
here's
to
the
that?
thing. It ain't gonna even get to year 3.
Yeah.
First off, that's the thing.
Why not though?
Because we already got you taken care of. If you were showing love to us, it's already, we done already.
So you don't want her to come back for 3?
No, what I'm trying to communicate
she's not gonna wait till year 3.
It ain't gonna make, she's gonna already be getting that type of monetary value before year 3. But if that's what you come in, you walking over to me with, you have your value can be measured. I can measure your time frame, what you're gonna be around me, which means the way I got a position to use you in business. It's not going to be the way I would use someone that's saying, hey, collaboration over competition.
Right.
And I'm going to put this game show together and we're going to work together on this.
Yeah.
And then me and back of the house conversation is like, I really like what she did. And now we're trying to figure out how to make that become a thing. Now we're potentially investing in that person, even if it's just for somehow be a part or be around or working the way out. That's it happening in real time. But there's also another side to this. It's not a good fit. And we gotta get used to saying that. We gotta say it, and that's why I wanted to be able to say, hey, it ain't for you. Because this how we moving over here. They tell you ride with your partners, and they say, man, we finna go do something. You wanna roll or get out the car? That means it ain't for you. And on this ride, that needs to become a part of our verbiage. Hey, this ain't for you.
And that's love.
That's hard.
And that's love. In the hood, that's love.
Yes.
You got a little homie that you wanna keep them out the way and protect them. Bro, you should. We finna go put in work. You trying to ride? Because you don't have to. Ain't nobody putting that pressure
Nobody
on you.
is.
You can stay here, little cuzzo. I actually prefer for you to stay here. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if somebody was rocking with us, because I come from putting in work. Like leaders eat last.
Right.
That's our style of leadership. So we understand what it's like to put in mad work to something and not get returned. As an actor, I know what it's like. I was on Craigslist searching for roles. I'm on the train. I rode the bus for this. I done did all kind of stuff for this. I done rode Greyhound bus across the country for a role I thought was dope. You know what I mean? Just to not get my return. So I'd be damned if you could walk away from this situation and say, I ain't get my return. Them niggas ain't bust their ass to make sure that I got something back. Nah,
Never
hell
true.
No. Now there is other relationships. There is other relationships where it's a Nike, Sue, LLC. So say Nike Sue LLC is trying to get in bed with Bovtiqve Fashion or Pretty Fly Society. It could look like what we did with Gorham Brothers Hat Company, where we slowly took them outside of what they understood to be their business model and showed them, boom, there's a lot more here. You could get a lot more if you just didn't rely on sending influencers hats that don't cost you nearly as much as it costs people. and then getting amazing content back for that would have cost. And that's not to single out Goran. This is a lot of people's business models.
Right.
You're getting content back that used to cost you thousands of dollars, kind of thing. So Goran Brothers rolled with us, and Ben Goran, the owner of Goran Brothers, rolled with us, and he was at a point in his life where he was like, man, I want to be scared. I want to be uncomfortable. The proposition is y'all make me uncomfortable. That's rock. Or it could be Nike Suit LLC saying, I want to rock with y'all. And I see the return isn't, I'm finna break even year 1, year 2, it can be a year 3 situation with that, but that return is different. Because a Nike Suit LLC understands the value. You see our Nike check on jerseys? That started. They were one of the first ones to do that. Wow. NCAA, the Georgetowns, and so forth and so on. But everybody else was looking at them like, why are you gonna spend money to send stuff to a school, shoes, uniforms, all that? But that birthed a revolution, they are a powerhouse in the game now. And they got, if you're a Ute and you playing basketball, you know what I'm saying? You love basketball, you're going to a Nike ABCD camp. I think that's a Nike camp these days.
Nike camp, ABCD is Adidas.
Adidas.
You going to Adidas?
Yeah, or Adidas, but everybody's going for that same
ABC,
presence.
Wow.
Reebok, everybody's going for that same presence. Because you can go into a Nike camp, you probably either got Jordan or Kobe or somebody's posters on your wall.
Jordan.
They're wearing Nike. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just an inception where you're capturing this young man or woman's imagination from inception. And they got you tied in with what they love organically. When they think of basketball, they think of Nike or Adidas or Reebok. And that's work that if Nike Suit LLC is looking to break even within 3 years, you know what I mean? They wouldn't have gotten that mindset wouldn't have led to them to be the staple that they are now. So there's definitely companies that we're rocking with and that we have conversations with, that we're in bed with, that are looking at it from that mindset. It's like, yeah, I know you guys are good money. We're gonna get money back from rocking with y'all, and we love that. But ultimately, you guys are helping us increase our presence and becoming a staple in the game. Putting our Nike on your PFS jersey, on your Georgetown jersey, is exponential growth for us that we can't even measure within this generation possibly. And you gotta know that, you gotta understand that when you sit down with these companies. You understand?
I love that. As we get ready to wrap up, I want to ask both of you guys to speak on this individually, but what would you say is your greatest hope for your community? What's the end game?
I would say ultimately the end game is just lean further into where we are. This post-pandemic chapter has really showed us a lot of people came online in the sense of pursuing their vision. Entrepreneurship, creativeness, opening the business they always wanted to open, everything, like it really shook up the world. And it really showed us how much power we have in our hands as entrepreneurs. So I just want to see us claim our space more, because everybody knows we keep the lights on in the building, around the world. They know that we're the source. So I just want to see us lean into that and take control of the process more. It's hard to describe like the end goal that we're going for, but it's less of us focusing on looking to win the Oscars or looking to win the Grammy and making our own. You know what I mean? And that's happening. We're making Oscars and Grammy our own. I'm seeing mad people. I don't want to shout them out because I don't want to miss nobody. But I'm seeing mad people that are becoming members of the Recording Academy, the Movie and TV Academy that can vote. They're really doing everything they can to include people of color and LGBTQ, all kind of alternative lifestyles. They want a whole well-rounded picture when it comes to voting on who should win that year's best songs and best movies by these accreditations that we value so hard, which is great. That's awesome. But we can also make our own. And I think ultimately that's the hope. I want it to spread like a virus, an epidemic, where we stop looking at things through a Eurocentric eye or a Caucasian-centric or Anglo-Saxon-centric, because by creating that, it changes the way we create art, changes the way we market ourselves, we dress ourselves. Subconsciously, it could change a lot about you. When you're looking at like, okay, well, I do want some other folks to come see my movie or my product, such. Dude, they do. I've seen it. I'm watching ATL Homicide on TV1. I'm on ATL Homicide on TV1. I've been privy to those metrics. You'd be surprised how many other races are tuning in to watch what we're doing.
Facts.
Point blank period. Do not sell yourself short at all. You would be surprised. So the more that you can look at yourself and us as the center of the universe, whether you're brown, black, Latino, Asian, whatever the case may be, look at you and your experience as the center of the universe. And people are going to tap into that, as opposed to looking at what somebody else has got going on and looking at as the center of the universe and trying to feed into that agenda. So that's the hope, is for that to spread like a virus, that kind of school of thought where we are at the center of our universe, whether it's athletics, art, events, lifestyle, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
I love it. That's good. Right?
That's a great answer.
Greatest hope. That is a great answer.
Good answer, bro.
That's a great question.
That's a great question too. Yeah, she be ready. She be ready. Because we're on cam, I do want to sort of answer this two ways.
Okay.
With the first way being business-wise. Business-wise, I want there to be a living, breathing example of, hey, you can be from wherever, really for real. You don't gotta have a story where something happened to a parent tragically. You don't have to come from a drug background. You don't have to come from the streets, because there really ain't no like idea of what black is. All right, like that's not a thing. And I would like us in business to begin to not feed into that shit, because then it'll allow us to do better business with each other. Because when we like, in doing business with each other, we got to understand that there's accountability, there's issues, but then that accountability is self-accountability as well. Like within our negotiation, here's things that I didn't do, which are why I should have been treated this way. Like allow that empathy to exist. This is why such and such smacked me. People always understand why they got smacked, but in business, they never understand why they got smacked. You see what I'm saying? And I would love our people overall, just as a culture, just, when we do business with each other, there's ups and downs in business too. But you can tell who's going for what by being observant to what's taking place, but actually researching that business. The same thing you do if someone from another nationality called, do for your culture. Research that way as well. And then also understand that if somebody's building something, if you ain't heard about it all over the place, that means it's being built. That's what that means. That means we're building Bovtiqve Fashion Week, which means if you're watching us, yes, we would like you to support us. We're not up here because we're like super cool and we don't want support. That's not what this is. But when we watch it through our phones or on screens in business, it's as if you aren't as good as we are. And regardless of how good we speak or relay that message, that is the tone. That's what we're trying to say. We so powerful that we're wasting every single moment with that word about what's happening over there. So I would like to put that towards business first, because that will solve and change everything. And the only way we're going to be able to do it is by being living, breathing examples of it, by attempting to maintain a quality relationship as brothers and men moving forward, building a business together as in the same thing, families, growing each other's families together, godparents to my twins, to my children. This is all real. This is to be an example of that, because regardless of what took place, what happened with Paid in Full happened. Somebody did turn and snitch. You see what I'm saying? What happened in all these other stories, there was something that went down that caused it to go down. I'm not having that happen. We not having that happen. I want our story to be that story, that legendary. Like, nope, there's a set of people that nothing went down with. The business was solid, this was solid, and if it was, they was able to figure it out, and y'all would never know a damn thing about it.
Right.
Now that, because that's legendary.
Yeah.
So moving us overall as a black people and business-wise, I would like us to do that. And in the undertone, to sort of match my bro's hope point, for me personally, really believe. I like my word would just be believe in yourself. The way I got my Division I basketball scholarship, some wouldn't believe what I had to do to get it. And I don't really care to share them stories anymore. But what it is was, I know my man here was heavily scouted and represented to go to Louisville and some of the biggest schools in the world. And some of us had to get it out the mud with the schools that we went to, but we knew we were Division I players. You know what I mean? And I knew I was a Division I athlete, and it didn't matter what you told me, I was gonna make that take place.
Right.
But there has to be some sort of blind faith and belief in yourself and what you got going on, and understanding that that's not a selfish thing to have, and being able to communicate that. You know what I mean? So if people really pay attention, you get good people in your life, friends-wise, try to do what you can to keep them. You know what I mean? Try to understand what a good friend is overall. You know what I mean? And try to keep them. be very empathetic in these relationships because everybody dealing with shit. You know what I'm saying? So being quick to jump to it's no good. You know what I mean? I think us overall as a people, we change those things, it'll impact everything else. It'll allow a business deal between two black people to go wrong and us be able to mend the fence and it not destroy everything because we both know that we both didn't do everything in our power to make sure it didn't go wrong.
Right.
But because I gotta feel like I'm right as an African American because we're up against so much, there's no way that I'm going to admit that I was wrong. But when we're out here sharing that information and being transparent, we're we understand. Bro done came to me about stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and that's actually don't have anything to do with business. This is back at the house. Like, hey, bro, I think that this might be, they may have a point in that. Talk to me about that. Oh, shit, you right. Factually, that's a thing. He know how I'm giving it up. All right, bet, let me get to that. Handle, though. All right, and then he's right back to, all right, well, that's handled. So what else we talking about? Because look at everything else we done did now since you bringing shit up. You feel me? I want our people overall, man, I want us to do a lot more sticking together and less talking about it. Because there's black folks out here that really don't fuck with black folks. Really do not fuck with black folks at all. They talk a good game. Yeah. But they do not want us around in their vicinity. They judging instantly out the gate before they even found out. We pretty tough books to read through. They see us as soft bravado shoulders, have no idea how deep me and Angelo are. Pause. You know what I'm saying? But that's the game. That's what we understand and we accept that. So the quicker us as a culture, as a people, can be empathetic towards everyone, believe in themselves, and not just using it as a moniker, but belief means undoubt. There is no doubt in what I'm talking to you about. This is about to happen. Come hell or high water. If we keep that and we understand that, we can have some back and forths, and then things may not go right every time. You know, it may not, my friend, it may not. And if it don't, what are we going to do then? And that's okay.
That's how we grow.
That's how we grow. That's what they do. That's what they've been doing in their cultures. It's why the Italians can move that way. It's why that organization can last for so long. It ain't got nothing to do with what we hope happened. That's a structural thing. You break camp, you got a problem on your hands, and you know that. You knew that before you did that. Formula. And you just better hope you get exiled. And if you get exiled, it's because we really love you. You see what I'm saying? There's a process. They have a process. We need to get together and get a process. We got all these leaders out here, you know what I'm saying? But there's winners, there's champions at all levels. There's Neishas, there's Angelos, there's Franks. There's people who have the mentality, okay, let's align. For real, for real. I'm talking crazy right now because as people get scared, they get scared to talk, so I'm gonna leave that alone.
I know, right?
But it's like, for real. We talking, we lived it. For real. Family lived it. I mean, I didn't come from that side of things, but I'm that militant for sure. I definitely want to rule like that. You know what I mean? I want this for us because we are the best culture. We are the best everything. We're everything.
Literally.
Everything.
We're the center of the universe.
Why is it so?
And it's crazy because we put them as the gatekeepers, so they're in positions where they're the gatekeepers traditionally. Well, more modern history, they're the gatekeepers, especially when it comes to art, entertainment, certain things. You know what I mean? We are the center of the universe. It ain't even art, entertainment, it's architecture, everything. We look at them as they have the machine and we need in. Well, really, we're the center of the universe. They need us. We just keep pimping it out or licensing it to them or leasing it to them without getting our due just. From the way they dress, their hairstyles, everything, we're the center. And they lean into ours to pull sauce from it. Musically, it's been happening since the beginning of time. Their trends, their art, their music, everything, they pull from us because we're the center of the universe. And the more we wear that, the easier it is going to be for you to close deals. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You picked up what he talked about when we go in the boardroom. When you walk around with knowing that you're that, we built this motherfucker.
It's already done.
And you got
Half
evidence.
the work is already
and you got
done.
the evidence. Get your letters of recommendation.
Yeah, facts.
Every time you do a successful partnership, I want to touch on that earlier.
Yeah.
Every time you get a successful partnership, go to that person, entity, brand, and get a letter of recommendation. Yes. Let them say what's on their chest and get receipts. We're running around making hotels mad money because a part of our business model is host hotel. And our first successful one for Bovtiqve Fashion Week was Volume 3. Shout out to the Aloft Hotel
by the Galleria.
Houston by the Galleria. Very dope team down there. And we made them some money. We made them some money. And we had them give it to us in a document that we can send around, and it's signed by Sonia who's a director of sales and marketing at the Aloft Hotel.
Shout out to
So when we go approach other Marriotts, we got proof in the pudding. This how much we made this Aloft property in Houston over a 3 or 4 month run, leading up, not just the Fashion Week, but we did activations leading up to the Fashion Week. We sold hotel rooms, food and beverage, all of it. And that's liquid revenue, aside from the social media metrics we finna show y'all, aside from the influencers that are now in your hotel, aside from the cameras we brought up in here, aside from the cross branding, because now we have your name next to Paul Mitchell School, next to this liquor company, next to these awesome designers. These designers are creating memories with your brand, so they're always gonna love Aloft. All of that is capital. But at the end of the day, get your receipts. If you make a brand or a person or entity some money, get your receipts and leverage that for your next relationships and continue to show. And that's it. And then walk in that room, whether it's a Zoom room or actual room, whatever the case may be, walk into that situation knowing that you got it. Yeah.
Y'all got it.
You got it.
Hey.
You know what else y'all got?
What's
I
up?
gotta say it before we go. Musical talent, okay?
Uh-oh. Don't tell nobody. We trying to sneak attack.
Bottles and
Don't tell them.
Boca.
We trying to sneak. We trying to, because it's a lot. It's a lot going on.
Bottles
So
and
we trying
Boca.
to roll it out. You know what I
Vibes
mean?
like rose.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Shit,
man?
No, okay, you got a lot-
Liberace, man.
right.
You heard the last one?
On the,
And it's
I
crazy
heard it
'cause
at Murder's Co. Was that the newest joint?
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Mel.
Yeah. Mr.
And that's
Mel.
real.
Okay.
We were really at Liberace Mansion. We was really high, smelling like tea. We really rode out Gorham Brothers Hat Company. We was really, all those bars are real. It's really Bottles and Boca. You know what I'm saying? It's all.
Right.
So it's just love, man. It's
I
just dope.
love it.
And it's just creating more experiences, putting it down.
Yeah, you have
Shout
a
out
line
to
in
Fly
Bottles.
Music.
You have a line in Bottles and Boca. She wrapped her legs around my neck like a bow tie. You want to expound?
Nah, I do not. I want to do the opposite of expound.
No, I love it.
yeah,
You guys are super creative, super talented. I love what you guys are doing. Multifaceted, right? We just touched on this thing a little bit. Angelo mentioned it briefly, but not briefly because I don't want to skim over it. It's a very big deal. Congratulations on your role in ATL Homicide and what you're doing with that. And so, yeah, and Frank got a little spark of acting too. We see it in the content. You got the acting bug.
I did my thing.
You're going to see a lot more.
I did my
Yeah,
thing.
you
Oh,
know.
yeah?
Shout out to Friend Zone, a very dope movie we
Yeah,
just
I did
wrapped
my
up
thing.
on. We actually wrapped up on it at Bovtiqve Fashion. They used opening night to shoot there because they needed like a party scene.
Yeah.
Shout out to Courtney Arlette, Lockett Media Productions. Bro has a role in that, and our own content that he's played a part in writing. We're producing, we're directing.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get
Act
one of
of
them. We're gonna try to
kindness,
get one of them out. We're gonna try to
average.
get one of them
Okay.
out.
Florida Man.
Even though I don't say
I don't think,
anything,
I
it's
don't
cool.
think we was rocking during the Florida Man days and stuff like that. But
Really?
Florida Man be hitting a platform near you pretty soon too.
I'm
So
excited.
Hey,
it's all of it, man. It's
and
creative
since-
house, you
And
know?
since you did ask about the music, hey, check this out.
Okay.
Y'all go to Fly Music, FLYMUZIC, and just listen.
You know?
That's all.
Yeah, shout
It's
out
some
to
cool music. It's shout out to the guys, Nephew, Silk Hardy,
yeah, Fontaine.
yeah, Fontaine.
Yeah, the whole squad.
You know, my
And
man, what's his Ron? My man Ron out Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Lou, he did a track with us.
Yeah.
He did a
Lou?
track.
One
we was
glance,
doing a
yeah.
track. Yeah, a song
Oh,
called.
I
Oh,
got it.
Lou.
Is there a pre-order?
Called
Yeah.
Black Billionaires. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lou did a song called
Wow.
Black
He's
Billionaires.
actually hella loose fire.
He did a
With
good.
the
He had a
music,
good
yeah.
bar.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
he
sold
was
me
doing
there.
his
You
thing,
had me
yeah.
at Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I appreciate you listening too, because I saw you like vibing at the swim show.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, and your husband too.
Yeah,
He was like,
yeah,
yo,
we both
like, yo,
rock with
fam, I
it.
like your music. I
That
was
was his favorite though, the swim. He did like that a lot. He talks about it still.
Bet.
Okay,
To
bet.
this
dope.
day. So y'all definitely left an
So
imprint.
yeah, thanks for listening
Shit.
though. That's hard.
Yeah.
Hit the road with us. We doing 3 swim shows next year. We got tentatively scheduled. Houston,
yes.
Vegas, and then LA.
Talk about the upcoming Bovtiqve Fashion Week though. Real quick,
oh,
who
yeah.
can people expect? Because that's a big deal.
New York City.
It's
What's
kind of
up?
a big
New York.
deal.
Just get ready for New York. That's all. Ain't nothing to tell you, but New York City. That's it.
That's it.
And after New York Fashion Week, we gonna be down there and we gonna rolling heavy. We rolling heavy.
It's going to take place the
Love it.
week after New York Fashion Week wraps up. Eventbrite registration is open now for boutique owners, buyers, designers, models, of course, photography, videography, of course, influencers, to host red carpet, to host different segments, all of it. It's all open. So hit the Eventbrite link. It's on the Bovtiqve Fashion Week Instagram. You can go to bovtiqvefashionweek.com. Man, it's going to be 5-day extravaganza, bro. And we can't wait.
You'll
for
never
real.
forget it.
And shout out to New York Fashion Week. We see y'all. We see y'all seeing us. Shout out to that gala y'all doing now. Shout out to Beyond the Runway, which y'all are doing now. So we're gonna bring some more game to New York for y'all to go ahead and take advantage of. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, so it really means a lot. Thank you.
All right, there it is.
Fashion Week?
Signed, sealed, delivered.
Oh, yeah.
Cool kids.
Real
By
nigga,
the way,
what's
I
up?
learned your handshake, so.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd it go? Let me see. Uh-oh.
Hey.
Okay. Oh, you ready to put in some work? You ready to put in some work?
The police.
Hey, bring the
Y'all
package.
can't fuck
Bring
with the police.
the package.
Yeah. Y'all can't fuck with the police. Nisha the feds. Nisha know niggas handshake.
Somebody
crazy.
checking for a wire.
That's crazy.
Somebody
Where'd you
checking
find
for a
that
wire.
at? Where'd you find that?
Yeah.
Snap.
We gonna prick you for the blood. We
Yeah.
gonna
Oh, snap.
get the whole ceremony going.
Yeah, get to the
Thank
Men in
you.
Black.
I
The Men in Black thing. Just forget that shit.
Forget it.
Yeah.
Ever.
No. Good job though.
Yeah, man. Real
good
shit.
work.
Real shit.
Thank
We really like working with you, man.
Good
You really
reporter-
take
good
pride in what
reporter
you're
work.
doing.
Thank
Bro had
you.
told me about we're gonna be working with you soon. Before we came and saw you in this very space, you interviewed Kenny Burns
Yeah.
on behalf of Inner City Magazine. Shout out to the
Shout
whole
out to
squad
them,
there.
Yeah.
And then seeing you doing your own thing and other elements, that made me tap into you more and just watch more of your content. Period. You really take pride in what you're doing.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my mom. She was a journalist. She was a teacher, a writer, all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
you understand people and how to like ask some questions to get them to open up, and you enjoy it. So it's
Right.
dope to see you doing that.
That
See you in
part.
your element. You know what I mean?
Shine.
Man.
And see it from
Hey.
afar. We
Thank
see
you.
it.
You know?
Feeling is mutual.
Appreciate you.
Dope.
Thank you
Appreciate
guys
it.
so much for coming on.
Shout out to you too, bro. You
Right. Shout out. Edie, can you hear me on my phone? I do have a quick question. We're going to see. This is going to be a
Alright,
separate piece of content.
heard? Okay.
But the brotherhood that y'all have. Thank you,
Word.
Enoch. Let me see. I got some questions for y'all to see if y'all really know each other.
Oh shit.
I bet.
Okay?
That's hard.
Y'all know I like my games.
No. Let's not talk about the Warrens.
Okay.
No wars. No wars.
Yeah, no
Or
Warrens. No. Yeah.
No, we're not.
No, we're not doing it. We're not filming. Shut up.
Absolutely not. Okay. Most likely to dance at the club.
Oh
Oh
shit.
shit, both.
Yeah, bust a little more.
First.
Define dance. Because
I
it's
don't
right
know,
here.
you
Yeah,
me
we
as a
here. Yeah,
two-step?
that's what I'm saying. We here all day.
That's right, yeah,
This what
yeah.
niggas is at. Yeah,
Yeah.
you ain't going too far than this.
You
What you
know
want,
what I
girl?
mean?
Shit,
Yeah,
man.
you know what I'm saying?
I ain't got but
I'll
this-
spin you.
That's
Do a
what
little
I'm
dosey
saying.
do.
Give me a little something. You know what I'm saying?
I might activate, you know what I mean?
Give me a little something.
Okay, so
Shit.
both of y'all on the floor.
Yeah. Not out there though. It ain't like, oh shit, poison on this. Shit. Like, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. at all.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No. Bro, niggas definitely cool on our way out to the flow. That's
Frank,
what we
you're
doing.
out.
What I do? What I do? Poison's on.
Oh
I love
my
poison.
God.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's my shit. Watch out.
Oh,
Nah, it
shit.
ain't-
Y'all
it
not
ain't-
that. Two
it ain't
step.
that
Y'all keep it
deep.
right here.
This we gonna
Fam,
two-step
it ain't
all
that
the
deep.
way through.
Okay,
That's
okay.
it. All the way. You
Keep
take
it
that with you.
playing.
Okay. Which one of you is more so the people person?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Both deal with people all day.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
our
Most
craft.
likely
yeah.
to dress down.
Neither. I mean, I don't know.
Because y'all always got drip.
Put
So.
that shit on, yeah. But even if it's dressed down,
Mhm.
it's a vibe. You know what I mean?
If we had an answer, it probably would be me.
Bro, we done sat there and
Yeah.
closed deals.
Yeah.
And basketball shorts that was from
Flip-flop.
college
For
and some
real?
flip-flops.
Yeah.
Because it's out there. The proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean?
I love
Niggas
it.
do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
But
guys feel about Crocs?
Ew.
I don't feel about
Yeah, I
Crocs.
don't feel
I've never
anything.
once felt
What?
about. I never looked at a
Oh.
Croc and felt something.
Oh.
No, I don't. Actually, I ain't gonna lie. I do not
I was
feel
like,
about
no,
Crocs.
Croc.
I
like,
put on a pair and
what?
they were mad comfortable, but I was like, I just can't. Shout out to Chris Diaz, because we on set. My co-star, my brother, actually from another mother, H.O. Homicide, long hours, hard bottom shoes. It's crazy. So you find your little vibe, my little house slipper. I'm in that bitch. In between takes, I'm cozy. You know what I mean? And he do the Croc thing, and I was like, bro, I got to see what that shit is. Like love for
Yeah.
your foot, but
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I'm not interested.
Yeah, never felt the thing for a Croc either.
Okay, what in you guys' sense, what would be a fashion no-no?
It ain't really. I don't really live in that world. I'm not like a
Yeah.
fashionista kind of vibe, or like
Okay.
we don't do that. I don't. You won't see me wearing a hoodie. I know some people like that. Shout out to y'all. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's self-expression. You know what I mean? Whatever that means for you. You know what I mean? Even if you're
Yeah.
somebody who,
Yeah.
I know plenty of people that's on some like,
People dress
man,
all
I
type
don't,
of
I
ways.
don't dress. Bro, I put on a white shirt and a black tee. That's
That's
y'all.
it.
I see how y'all do it. That's boom. But that ain't me. And it's like, but it is. You choosing to wear like not much, or your eyes like I'm wearing a white tee and some jeans. That's how you express yourself. I don't care about this like that. I'm a real one, or whatever statement you make it with that. You still expressing yourself. So to me, it ain't no right or wrong way to express yourself. It might not mean I would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I think
dig?
it's rooted. I think it's rooted in like you're being weird if you're like, oh, that's a fashion no. I think it's just rooted like who we are
Being
naturally.
weird.
It's like, yeah, like why I'm not
Right,
even looking at
why are
you
you
like
even
that to
saying
be
that?
judging you like
Because
that.
Yeah.
what happens with the fashion
Yeah.
world, a lot of people, it's a culture that helps validate, and people use it to validate. And so a lot of people need that.
Yeah.
People run around hurt people. So when you see the whole chessboard, you see it for what it is. A lot of people need that.
They need
They
to
need
be
something to be able to say,
Yeah.
why would that person wear white after Labor Day? What is that about? That's
Yeah.
a savage. It's like, bro, relax, bro. You know what I mean? I'm dripping in this bitch. Everybody relax.
He bought
Right.
40 white shirts this summer, you know?
Yeah.
Damn, he got extra shirts.
Let
He
him
need
do
to
his
wear
thing,
them.
yeah.
That's why
You
he did
don't
it.
wear that on the left
Yeah.
hand. Said who?
Get out of
You,
here.
Right.
you need that.
Yeah.
You need that, don't you? Yeah. You need to be able to say shit like
I
that.
love it. Okay. Most likely to cut somebody out.
Hey, I'm from Florida. I'm
That's
from Miami,
tough.
Florida. Yeah.
That's tough.
I come from a long
It
line of
depends on
cussing
the
people out.
situation.
Yeah.
He'll talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll talk to
I'm
you.
gonna rap with you.
He gonna rap with you a lot.
I want to be clear.
He gonna rap with
'Cause
you.
it's gonna-
Yeah. He's gonna rap with you.
Potentially, it's gonna go to another direction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna go somewhere we cannot come back from.
Yeah.
Because I don't play about me or mine.
Yeah.
In the day, and I come from a long line of not playing about me or mine. So I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna like ask you, hey, is this really what's happening right now? You know what I mean? And then take it from there. But
I
as
will.
a young cat, I was
Yeah.
very brolic,
Yeah.
very like
Okay.
young, angry,
You was on
Tupac. Yeah, Miami, Florida boy,
Mm.
Cuban, Ethiopian, Leo. It's a lot to deal with. So shout out to meditation. Shout out to my grandfather. He was a very still person. He was very,
Grounded.
yeah, it's chill. If he's speaking up, everybody need to pay attention because he ain't gonna say a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's good.
Nowadays, I'll cut your ass out. Yeah, I'll cut your ass out.
You
But
what?
it has to, like Bruh said, it's a build up. And the cuss out isn't all F-bombs and this, that, and the
Right.
fifth, but you feel it.
Yeah.
You know I'm on you by something right now. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So but right now, it's like, you know what I mean? I'll turn up on you a little bit after a long time of shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Real time is this was happening. Are you sure you want to? This what you want? Okay, this is what you signed up. Did you sign up for this? Because bro told me this is what you signed up for.
Right,
you know what
right.
I mean? You didn't sign up for this anymore. I don't know what to do with that. So
Right.
then I'm like, all right, it's all good. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
let's not compile it and make it a thing. There's a situation that I'm referencing a particular situation that we had at the Moxie,
Okay.
and it doesn't be like it doesn't be towards a person. It's not like I'll cuss out Stafford.
Yeah.
I ain't cussing nobody out like that. I'm referencing in business.
Mm.
If we feel it, it's over. I'm gonna tell you what I see this truth to be at this point. Ultimately, I
Yeah.
gotta tell you, and I ain't gonna take all day to let you know. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but the answer, like, there's no like that question is it's the same. It's like, I don't know. We gonna talk to you first,
Right.
and like Bruh said, eventually it progressed to here.
Okay. Which one of you is the funniest?
I don't even.
We're talking.
You
like,
tell us.
Yeah, you're talking to the
Yeah.
truth.
I don't know. You guys are funny in different ways.
Okay.
Your mama funny.
Yeah.
You calling funny?
All right, it's Angelo.
Yeah, what you mean? They say your mama
Angelo
funny.
wins.
Who you
Yeah.
calling funny?
Yeah.
Angelo's the funniest.
Hell yeah. The stillness on the camera on that question gonna be insane. Funny. Niggas like,
It's funny.
huh?
Niggas ain't funny.
Niggas
Yeah.
ain't funny. Ain't
That's
nothing funny.
it.
Fun. It's life.
That's
It's real life
preschool
out
because
here,
of
nigga.
recess.
Yeah.
Look.
Nothing. Hard
Don't
knocks.
play games.
Hard knocks. Life.
Never played it.
Nothing's
Okay,
funny.
which one of you guys has the road rage?
Nah, it's super chill, actually.
Super
yeah.
chill?
It's
It's
right
super
lane.
chill.
I drive in the right lane.
Okay,
So
right
we gonna
lane, Frank.
We gonna get there.
Yeah. Say
Good.
there you go. That's the
Good.
quote. We gonna get there. For sure.
Okay, which one of you is the early bird and night owl?
I'm a night. I'm a night
I'm
owl.
when we working,
hours,
I'm
Yeah.
an early bird night out.
Early bird,
Yeah.
night owl. Okay, and then last one. How do you guys act when you're hangry? How does Frank act when he's hangry?
I know how I brag.
I start just- I don't
My
get
dog
angry.
just be ready to eat.
I
Like, bro, I
don't
gotta get
get
some
angry.
food, bro. I haven't eaten.
It's like,
He starts repeating that
It's like-
shit. Nah,
Look, I
fuck
need to-
that. I ain't finna let him get this off. Nope, this what this nigga do. When bro hungry,
That shit is
that
a
nigga
FEMA
starts he's like, bro, what's
emergency,
happening? I need
you
to eat,
understand?
bro. I mean,
That's just a
act
category
like I haven't
six.
eaten today.
You-
I
you
gotta
ate?
move. You
Did you
eat?
eat?
And
Y'all
I
ate?
get the
All right, I'm about to
ass
place some
nigga.
order. What you want, first
He
watch?
gonna ask over
I'm about
and
to-
over.
You ate?
Bro,
'Cause I'm
chill.
placing the order. When
Chill.
it
He gonna
touchdown,
find some way
It
to say
becomes the
it.
number
It's
one
going
thing to
down.
do.
It's going
If
down.
dog ain't ate,
It's going down.
it becomes feeding up.
I like-
It's so funny.
after
I see it
playing
every
around it.
time, dog.
Like, oh, I already ate.
Oh, it's so
Let's get
funny.
it. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
straight. I already ate. Let's go. Because if not, it's a category 6 hurricane.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
Wow.
a FEMA. Like somebody call Obama is going down.
Yo, it's so funny. Like the arrangement of bro trying to get his shit together to eat.
Yeah.
I ain't got much to say. I'm like, yo.
Yo, it's very short. Like, yo, everybody ate? Yeah, you? Nobody? All right, here we go. I'm doing this. I'm saying that I'm going to eat because I'm about to leave. And he's going out the door.
But
all right.
The questions don't stop. Angelo, did you see the chairs? Did you get the one? Have you talked to them? Where's such and such? Are they on the way? What about the flyers? Did you eat?
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm worried
eat.
about right now. That's it.
I was trying to see if you ate.
People become different when they
That
eat.
is the funniest. Funny, that's funny. That's the truth. I probably never answered that question. That's why I'm gonna answer that nigga. I see when bro be tripping.
Yeah.
I see when he be tripping. Cause I get hungry. It's like I'm really weak and slow.
She get drowsy.
I'm just really like, oh shit. Exactly. That's the truth. I'm like, I'm going to sleep.
It's T-5. Bro's like, yeah, everything's great. Did you get the email? I updated you with it. I'm like, bro, did you eat?
On 0.
Oh. No, I did not eat.
That's so funny. Let's eat. Yeah, today.
Somebody get this nigga a chicken nugget
today.
now.
No. Food?
It's like 7:30. You know what I mean?
I'm weak.
It's the truth. It is the truth.
The event starts at 7:35.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Bro's like,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, shit real.
Everything should be good.
It
It should be good. I ain't got no food. It's just because I'm reserving energy.
Can we get some
Right.
chicken nuggets here
Hey, I
ASAP?
need
Is
it.
that a 10 for all the chicken nuggets?
Who's got the chicken
Copy.
nuggets?
Yeah,
Copy
nuggets on the
that.
way.
Appreciate it.
For sure.
Appreciate it.
Y'all
I
are
see
funny.
large fry. Please me. Please. Because I'm going to be back.
Hey,
I'll pop out of the
man.
back room like, oh shit. People.
I'm
you know
back,
what I mean?
baby.
Yeah, I'm back.
Let's
All
get
the
it.
way. All the way. But that is
Well,
true. That's
Yeah,
very
the
true.
struggle
Very
is
true.
real.
I
Very
love
valid.
it. I love what you
Very
guys are
valid.
doing.
Chicken
A lot of
very
fun.
valid.
I'm so excited to watch your journey and even be a part of what you guys are doing.
Thank
real
you.
talk,
So
yo.
thank you so
Much
much
love.
for
Much love.
including me
Chicken,
in
wow,
the
wow.
dopeness. If people want to rock with you guys, real quick, where can they find you and how can they get tapped into this disruption thing?
You stare in the mirror. You say pretty fly society 5 times.
5 times. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
But if that don't work, your service is bad, your connection is bad. There, you can follow us on Instagram, Pretty Fly Society, BovtiqveFashion.com, PrettyFlySociety.com, all the things. Cuba the God, GAWD. That's my Instagram. That's my stuff. Social medias and whatever you're into. Yeah, man. Find your niche.
Yeah.
You can find me at Find Your Niche. Because we're gonna be on the page soon. Hit ass. No, it's Franck Mille, FRANCK_MILLE. And this drip I'm wearing is the Lust Collection. I had to drop it on you one time. Damn, it hurt. The Lust Collection. THEE Lust Collection. All right, please check it out and support us. Thank you very much, Pretty Fly Society. That's at Pretty Fly Society. Everything spelled correctly. And Nisha, if you don't mind, maybe put on the screen somewhere how to spell Boutique Fashion Week. Like, right, bam. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're in America, not
Us
China.
trying to say it, it's a lot to it. We ain't got time for that. So
Yeah.
please follow us. I appreciate you. Appreciate bro. I appreciate this even being able to happen.
For real.
There it is. All right, y'all. Peace.
Have my money when I see you, too.
I'm sorry.
For real, everybody.
We're doing
What
this.
you do? What you do?